So, hey everybody, just we're wrapping it up for today, day 21. We started out this morning at the Brown Creek
Creek
Mountain Shelter and then made it all the way to Seeley Woodworth Shelter. And it was about 15.7 miles. And I'll have to say, David just about had to drag me here. I was dog tired this morning after that first ascent that we
tough.
did.
That was tough.
Yeah, it was 2,600 feet and 4 miles or something like that.
It was, yeah. We were worried what the rest of the day was gonna hold for us.
And I was crying like a baby, but we learned something. We didn't do much in the way of breakfast. We tried to snack our way through the morning. It didn't work too well. We ended up though having a nice lunch in the sun.
Yeah, that actually worked out pretty well. I think we found a spring that was like 0.3 miles off the trail, but it was, like you said, nice and sunny. We laid around, kind of took it easy, laid back. Actually, I didn't nap, but at least closed the eyes for a little while.
Yeah. Ate about everything we could in sight and drank some Gatorade, and then kind of rocked and rolled after that. The terrain was favorable, and we made it to the shelter here. And there's this. You probably have already seen the video. We'll be uploading it, but the spring is just gushing water out of this pipe, and it was amazing. So we had good water, good picnic table to cook dinner on, and David gives the privy
two thumbs up. In the Joe world of standards, that's almost as good as you can get.
Yeah, especially out here.
Yeah.
So we're approaching backpacker midnight, which is about 7:30 when the sun goes down. It's going to get down to below freezing tonight again. So we're ready for crawling in sleeping bags and trying to get an early start tomorrow.
Yeah.
Got a good day tomorrow, we hope, and if it all goes well, we'll knock out a big chunk. But we're going to see how we feel right before the really hard stuff. We'll see if we're up
to make
for
a decision.
doing
That. The other big thing is we have officially been on the trail 3 weeks now. The end of today will be 3 weeks.
Yep, this is day 21.
Yeah, and I'm not sure how many miles we've done. 260-ish, something like that.
Somewhere in that, in that range.
So we're doing good. We're kind of settling in. The legs are starting to come into play. Even though it was a tough day today, we got here and we were able to still walk.
And it was another one of those 5,000 plus ascent days.
Yeah.
So we're.
Yeah. Again, I think that's where I'm hoping the first sign is that we recover quickly. I know, yesterday after our long miles, we were pretty sore coming in, but then the next morning we were in pretty good shape.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping that's a good sign.
Yeah. The biggest dilemma I think we're facing on this vacation is it's just been kind of cold. So in the morning, you don't really feel like sitting around and having coffee and shooting the breeze and making something to eat. You want to get warm, and the way to get warm is start hiking uphill.
Right.
And so that's been a little bit tough. And then on the flip end of the day, you come in, you're tired, you eat and everything else, and then it's cold again.
It's cold.
And so you're ready. Get in your sleeping bag. And
well, and what Joe said, with what we found out, and it certainly came into play today, if we don't eat a good breakfast, we struggle until lunchtime. And we definitely did that today because of this big up that we had to do right off the bat. So we're going to have to figure out how to get a little bit more calories into us in the morning, while at the same token, it's cold. Like I said, you don't want to just sit around. You want to get moving so you can warm up. So we're going to have to figure that out. Work through that.
If we got a third person that just their job was to take care of us, we could stay in our sleeping bag.
I like it.
Okay, they could get the food bag down, bring us the honey buns, coffee, or whatever it is, and that way we can really settle in nicely before we get out of our sleeping bag.
I like that. And then they could race ahead of us.
Yes.
And have things ready when we get into the shelter.
Yeah.
We'll put a job posting out there for that. Sherpa extraordinaire or something like that. But we're doing good. We have, when we left Glasgow, we had 5 days of food, and we planned to do 5 days to get us into Waynesboro. And that meant we needed to average about 15 miles a day. So we're off to a good start for the first 2 days. Tomorrow might be a little bit less, depends on
how we're feeling.
But we're certainly on schedule to be able to make the ultimately the 5 days into Waynesboro.
Tomorrow will probably be 14 and something or 20 and something.
Yeah. There's kind of a wide gap there of what we're going to do, but we'll find out. We'll see how it works out.
It's all water and where we can stay, and but it's going to be interesting. The one thing I'm finding is my appetite is picking up a little bit. So I was looking at my snacks tonight when we're putting the bags away. It's like I'm going to probably finish my snacks. Not tomorrow, but the next day. Day 4, I'll have all my snacks.
Don't come whining to me to get my snacks.
Well, I've already got plans. I got some plans to stretch that out.
Oh, I see. That's why you'll go get the bear bags down, and then, hey, my bag's kind of lighter.
Look, there's been a cut in your bag.
Yeah.
I don't know where that stuff went.
Yeah. But it is interesting, as we haven't hit hiker hunger yet, but that's where you just can't eat enough. Your calorie intake gets to a point where you've started to really reduce all the fat on your body, and you need to eat as much as you can. We haven't quite hit that, but it's going to be an interesting thing because I can't carry any more food than what I've got, and trying to find something that's high content calorie without. And obviously the weight is a thing, but it's more the volume, just places to put food.
Where are you going to put it? So,
exactly. So this interesting thing we'll have to work through.
What I hope happens is our legs will be better, our stamina will be better, then we can hike farther and get to resupply quicker.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the key to it.
Then we'll get it down to maybe we're carrying 4 days, be the max most of the time.
Right, but it'll be like we were carrying 5 days, but we're going to eat it in 4 days.
In 4 days, exactly. Yeah. And then you get a breakfast before you leave wherever you're at, and you get a dinner when you get there on the end of the 4 days.
Right.
You sit in McDonald's for about 2 hours,
Well, I'll tell you, we did a good job in Glasgow, really calorying up, going to the local restaurant every meal. And then Charlie, who runs the Stanimal 328, just spoiled us rotten with brownies and ice cream and peach cobbler and
we have
blueberry
pancakes and sausage the first morning, and French toast and sausage the second.
Yeah, so we were definitely caloried up when we left there, and that's what we're going to have to do again when we get into Waynesboro. Just eat as much as we can.
It's a tough job, but somebody's got to do it.
This is the one part in our life where you can just eat whatever you want and still lose weight. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
But all right. Anything else, Joe?
Nice.
Been a good 3 weeks.
Great 3 weeks.
We're guessing we probably have a couple of weeks, 2.5 weeks before we hit Harpers Ferry, before we get out of Virginia. And so it's kind of cool to see that we're making progress. That we're moving up. The miles are starting to come a little easier for us. So that's kind of exciting.
Yep. Further we go, we might start running into some other hikers to introduce you to.
Right.
Which is kind of some of the fun of all this anyhow. The different characters we run into and their stories.
Yeah. They'll be excited to meet us.
Yeah.
Speaking of characters. All right. Well, y'all have a great night, and we will start it all over again tomorrow.
Yep. See you tomorrow.
Good night.
Good job.
We're just wrapping up breakfast and stuff here at the shelter, but woke up to a really pretty sunrise happening. Just gorgeous here. A beautiful view out of the shelter. Let's see if we can get a shot of the shelter. This is the Seeley Woodworth shelter. Kind of the standard shelter. Still a little snow on the ground here. Got down to only about 31 last night, so not too bad. We're going to keep pretty warm. So we're going to enjoy the rest of the sunrise here, finish our breakfast, and hopefully be on the trail in about 20-30 minutes. All right, we are on top of Spy Rock. Just incredible views up here.
360.
360. Just gorgeous. Just a kind of a large slab of rock that we climb up. They're pretty. Pretty. 9 a.m. All right, I made a quick stop here at the Priest Shelter just to grab some water and to confess our sins. Not sure why it's named the Priest, but this is the place where everybody kind of confesses their trail sins. And looking through the book, there's probably more than that. But there's the obvious ones of didn't dig the cat hole 6 inches deep, threw some handy wipes down the privy, said some bad things going up big hills. Just a lot of miscellaneous things. Didn't flush the toilet in the restaurant. But it's a couple of books full of interesting, funny things to read. But it was worth a stop. We've got about 5 more miles we're going to do before we actually stop to eat lunch. It's almost 12 now, but we're gonna do a late lunch, and then they'll set us up to try to figure out how much further we go from there. So we will see you down the trail. And actually, here's Joe confessing his sins. You'll feel much better after this, Joe.
I will.
Just let it out.
Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned.
I wanted to kill my hiking buddy, but I refrained.
Why, you ask?
Yeah.
Because I could.
PM. On our way down from whatever mountain that is where the pre-shelter was. And just an incredible view. Best view ever, don't you think, Joe?
I think it's the best view ever. It's been interesting, we were up so high, we couldn't see much detail. When we get down here, this big open area, we can see, wow, we're getting closer to being down here.
Look how some of the fields are starting to green up. Maybe that's a sign spring is on its way. Well, we're in the midst of a pretty steep downhill. What was this, 15% grade?
15% grade.
Yeah, so the knees are screaming at us. I think we're about halfway down. But when you got views like this, kind of makes up for some of that.
And you're gonna have lunch at the bottom.
Yeah, some lunch at the bottom.
Probably something on the tortilla.
Oh, I hope so. We're still working our way down the mountain that came across some pretty cool little waterfall, water slide. All right, we have decided to stay here tonight. Harpers, something, shelter. Gives us about 14 miles for the day. Contemplated pushing on, but there's a gigantic hill in front of us and just decided that we didn't have the legs for it. So we're gonna go and pull up short here and tackle that in the morning. Harpers Creek Shelter. Home for the night. So we got a fairly decent start this morning, about 7:20. We're gonna leave camp. We're about halfway up this big climb. And Here's some gorgeous views. We both were just talking about how we made the right decision last night to go ahead and stay in that shelter and tackle this morning. There's just lots of rocks and stuff that we would have been in high wine mode like yesterday if we had tried to do it.
The sun too.
Yeah, true, and it was pretty warm yesterday, so it's about 38 last night, so a pretty warm night. Felt good. I think we left this morning it was right about 38. Not sure what it'd be right now, but it's not too bad. So we've got about 1.5 miles, or no, almost 2 miles left to get up on this climb. And then we're hoping the rest of the day will be a little bit easier for us so we can try to push a little bit of miles. Another gorgeous view. We just reached the top and kind of walking along a ridge line now. Just gorgeous. Yeah, Joe and I were talking before that it's just amazing where you think, you certainly come from a city, you think it's just buildings everywhere or whatever, and you get up here and it's just wilderness. You know, you see a few houses and stuff, but lots of mountains and pretty cool. What do you think, Joe?
Hi, ready to rock and roll and music and down the hill.
There you have it. There you have it. We're ready to go.
I was standing all alone against the world.